On January 3, 2020, an American drone strike at the Baghdad airport eliminated the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani. Iran responded by firing a barrage of ballistic missiles directly at American military bases in Iraq, sparking immediate global fears of a full-scale war. Millions of people flooded the streets of Tehran to mourn Soleimani as a national martyr, a public display of outrage that reached every corner of the country. Despite this maximum level of tension, both the superpower and the sanctioned nation eventually stepped back from open conflict. This standoff reveals a specific pattern of engagement, a system of targeted assassinations and cyberstrikes designed to inflict pain while strictly avoiding the mutual suicide of a declared war. This hostility is a modern development. 70 years ago, in the 1950s and 60s, America and Iran were close, cooperative allies. Washington used Iran as a strategic anchor to block Soviet influence during the Cold War, flooding the country with wealth, military technology, and Western cultural influence. To understand how these neighbors became adversaries, we have to perform a geopolitical autopsy, reverse engineering the timeline to find the moments this alliance was shattered. Current tensions are the result of a 40-year unbroken cycle of action, reaction, and perceived betrayal. Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi used full American backing to modernize Iran's infrastructure and align its economy with the West. This rapid shift created a domestic backlash among religious and working-class Iranians, who saw the Shah as a puppet installed to erase their cultural identity. In 1979, the Islamic Revolution exploded. Millions of protesters paralyzed the country until the Shah was forced to flee. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini took control, replacing the monarchy with a strict Islamic republic. The final break occurred when revolutionary students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, taking 52 American diplomats hostage for 444 days. The hostage crisis ended the alliance and established Iran as a permanent, ideologically driven adversary in the eyes of Washington. In 1980, Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein took advantage of Iran's post-revolutionary instability and launched a full-scale invasion. The 8-year war killed hundreds of thousands. It was defined by brutal trench warfare and the extensive use of chemical weapons against Iranian forces. To prevent the Islamic Revolution from spreading, the United States provided indirect support to Iraq during the conflict. America's backing of Saddam Hussein's military cemented its status in Tehran as an existential threat, a betrayal that still dictates Iranian policy today. The board shifted again in 2003, when the U.S. invaded Iraq to topple Saddam Hussein. By destroying Saddam's government, Washington removed the primary regional power that had previously kept Iranian influence in check. General Qasem Soleimani exploited this power vacuum, building a network of loyal armed militias across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. This strategy utilizes localized fighters, roadside bombs, and cyber attacks to exhaust American resources without requiring the Iranian military to take the field directly. Through this proxy network, a heavily sanctioned nation found a way to effectively trap and bleed the world's most powerful military. While building its proxy network, Iran also kept its nuclear centrifuges spinning, leading to a decade of crippling international economic sanctions. Instead of forcing a surrender, these sanctions led the Iranian government to frame the nuclear program as a primary symbol of national defiance. Analytical, this raises the question of what would happen if the Shadow War ended and America launched a full-scale invasion. America maintains overwhelming technological superiority, with stealth bombers and a global network of aircraft carriers. Iran counters this with asymmetric defenses, mountain bunkers, massive ballistic missile reserves, and proxy fighters entrenched across multiple borders. A direct war would not be a localized regime change, but a tactical nightmare likely to set the entire region on fire. The final deterrent keeping both sides from open war is the global economy. Much of the world's daily oil supply must pass through the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow maritime choke point. A war that closes this strait would cause oil prices to explode, triggering a rapid and severe global economic crash. Washington and Tehran remain locked in a permanent standoff because they understand the stakes. One miscalculation burns down the global economy alongside both nations.